Hi friends, welcome to CodeNet, and today we want to understand how we can work with operators when it comes to JavaScript. I mean, an operator is simply anything that can allow you to do an operation between the variables or simply an operation between the whole numbers. So we have the two files, the JavaScript based file and the HTML based document. These all documents, they are saved in the same folder, which is of course titled code, and then we have the two documents, the JS document and the HTML document. When we go on the actual browser that I am definitely using, this is simply the same HTML page that I created even from the previous session. The actual one, this is the one we will use for we to see how we can work with operators when it comes to JavaScript. So at first you can see that I'm saying okay, 26 plus 10 is, so we'll start with the plus as an operator in JavaScript for we to see how a plus can work. So we can use a plus as an operator if we want to operate the content that are in the variables that have been created. So we are saying okay, var and answer as the actual variable that we've created, and then we can assign the values. Now let's use the values that are inside the variables that we've created, which is variable a and variable b, because wherever we see 26 we are thinking of a, and wherever again we see 10 we are thinking of b. So we can say okay, a plus b, the actual answer will be printed out using the getElementById as a method of printing out the content in JavaScript. So we can now double check my document is on autosave, hence I have not done the Ctrl S thingy. If your document is not on autosave, then do the Ctrl S and then from there you can proceed. So if I refresh again, I can tell okay, see the answer. Immediately I do that, of course 26 plus 10, that's 36. So we have at first understood on how we can work with a plus or an addition sign as an operator. It just adds the content. Similarly, the same operator can work now on values that can be sent into a variable. If we want, we can just say okay, 26 plus the actual 10, which that's if they were not sent to any variable. Ctrl S to save the document, go on the actual browser. If I refresh, definitely see the answer. Again we are seeing 36. So operators can work either on values and a variable, or on variables alone, or also on values and values. An operator can work on anything. Let's proceed. Let's see another operator, which is the minus as an operator. So we can of course again use a minus or a subtraction sign as an operator on a variable and a variable, or a variable and a value, or simply a value and a value. So like that we can say okay, a minus 10. We want to see now this operator can work on a variable and a value. So a minus 10, if we go back on our browser again, we are saying okay, 26, because we know that's the content in a, and then minus 10. Let's even change maybe on our HTML document for we to denote that we are working with of course a minus as an operator. Of course here that's on H3 we can implement of course a minus, a subtraction sign, and then we can go back on our actual IDE. Immediately when we refresh, we are of course going back on our raw HTML document. Immediately we say see the answer, then yeah, definitely 16. Don't forget it was a variable and a value. Let's progress and see now the same implementation can now work when it comes to another operator, the multiplication operator. So we can of course multiply the content in a times the content in b, which is 26 times 10. Let's also change on an HTML document. So we can of course implement a multiplication sign for it to display, because we are working with the multiplication as a sign. Immediately we refresh, of course the web page will change. 26 times 10 is, see the answer, then we have the answer 260. Another operator that we can foresee on how it works, the basic operators to say, because we have also other types of operators like the logical operators and the arithmetic operators, which we will see in our next session, is simply the division as an operator. We can divide 26 divide by 10, we will see the answer. Let's go on our HTML raw file. Immediately we implement of course the division. A division is simply in programming written as a /. Immediately we go back on our actual browser, we refresh the document. Okay, 26 divided by 10, see the answer. The answer is 2.6. The 2.6, you can tell that 10 can go into 26 2 times, and then it will also leave the remainder, which is 6, hence 2.6. Another operator that we can introduce, the one that might seem new or anything related to that, is simply the modulus as an operator. A modulus is simply written with the percentage sign. A modulus as an operator, which is this operator, simply returns the remainder between the numbers or among the numbers. A modulus can also be applied on a variable and a variable, or a variable and a value, or simply value and value. So we can say, okay, what's the remainder, what's the modulus of A, and then we express with P as the variables. Immediately again, when we go back on our browser, we refresh the document, see the answer, we'll see 6. So it will only return the very actual remainder that can be seen immediately when we do the operation. We said it can work on a variable and a value. Immediately again, when we go on our browser, I'm not doing the Ctrl+S thingy because my document is on autosave. See the answer, we'll see 6 again. That's a variable and a value. Again, when we proceed, you can tell that we have more and more operators that can be talked about when it comes to JavaScript. But for now, please stick to these basic operators. In our next sessions, especially before we proceed on the conditional statements, we'll understand what logical operators are, because if we understand now, then we'll forget that these operators precede the conditional session as the session that we have in JavaScript, because when we proceed them immediately before the conditional statements comes in, then it will be way easy to remember what we'll be doing when it comes to the conditional statement. Let's proceed on our next session, and don't forget to subscribe. You are on CodeNet.